Now, our feature presentation.
What's up, Philly? We're the gang from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Let's go Flyers!
It's me, Timmy Flyersguy, and welcome to a very special episode of Classic Flyers Theater. This is episode 100 of Classic Flyers Theater. I'm your host, Timmy Flyersguy, and we're gonna have like a retrospective of how I got started on the YouTube and how I created, how I got here on YouTube, and some of my favorite Flyers memories that I grew up with, and some of my favorite Flyers memories that got me into hockey. You'll also see that, and you'll also see my first YouTube video. I've done my first YouTube video from back in 2010. So here's where we're going to start. It all started in 2010. The summer, it all started in the summer of 2010. I was going to make a YouTube channel. I didn't really know how to make any content yet, because at the time, I didn't have a laptop computer. I had a regular old desktop Dell computer that I used every day. But it all started, well, not in the summer, but it started way before that, when I had our YouTube channel created. I had no content on there yet, but in the summer of 2010, I got a laptop computer, and it came with a webcam, so I started doing my first YouTube video on YouTube. It was probably my first time doing a YouTube video. I didn't really have the technology or the transitional effects to make good videos yet. So I started doing videos with my webcam on there, and then later I discovered I had Windows Movie Maker, so I tried that out, and that worked great for me. My first video, it was probably the summer after the Flyers had an amazing playoff, had an amazing postseason in 2010. My first ever video, well, this is my first content I made, was a tribute video to Simone Gagne. And also I did a video where I was talking on camera about a Flyers game that happened the previous day. So, without further ado, to get this 100th episode started, we're going to take you back to my first YouTube videos that I ever made on my YouTube channel. So I hope you enjoy this, and if you notice, my room looked a lot different back then than it does now. So you're going to see a big difference in this video. So, I'm Timmy Flyersguy, so without further ado, let's take a look back at my first YouTube videos.
I fell in love with a southern girl. I gave her
She slam on the door, a baby don't cry. What you in a hurry you fall? Slow it down, slow it down. We are wild and young, and we have just begun. So slow it down, you move a little too fast. You take a deep breath, you make this last. And you should be the best days of your life. So right tonight, I said we are wild and young. Oh, we are wild and young. Well, her free fall came a little out of the blue. What happened to the days of doing what we wanted to do? Slow it down, slow it down. Well, we should kick back and just have a little fun. Two kids getting high, have a couple beers in the sun. Slow it down, slow it down. While we are wild and beyond. Oh, we have just begun. I said we are wild and young. Oh, we are wild and young. We are wild and young. I said we are wild and Come on, slow it down, you move a little too fast. You take a deep breath, you make it last. And these should be the best days of your life. So right tonight, I said we are wild and young. I said we are wild and
Hey, how you doing? My name's Tim. Been a Flyers fan since 1986. And I gotta say, I hope they do good tonight. Gotta work on that power play. Saturday's game was awesome. Seeing them win 5-2. That goal by Briere was kick-ass, I gotta say. I just gotta say that, you know? Playing the Blue Jackets tonight. Get to see our old friend R.J. Umberger. Yeah, I remember him. Won the Calder Cup for us back in '05. Man, those were some good times. I actually went to all them games. Man, memories. That was the year I graduated high school. Went to Widener. Just want to show some love to my friends at Widener. Hope you guys are doing well. Peace out. Wow, what a start to my YouTube channel right there. Wasn't my first video. I was a little nervous doing it. And you notice that I look a lot younger in those videos than in that one video. And well, those were my first two YouTube videos. My first two official YouTube videos. Many years later, my YouTube channel started getting a lot better. Started making more videos. And started really going off. And this was when YouTube was actually a lot different back then. You actually had friends on YouTube back in the day. Now it's changed a lot. Many years later, my YouTube channel really went well. I started Classic Flyers Theater back in the summer of 2020, back during the pandemic. My first ever episode was about Flyers music videos. Then I had a few other episodes as well, dedicated to Flyers hockey, some Philadelphia Flyers commercials as well. And before I really started to get back on YouTube, I took a brief hiatus from YouTube because I had to for certain health reasons. I was in the hospital in 2017. I was in the hospital for the longest time, and I didn't know when I'd be back on YouTube. And during that summer, I was in the hospital for several months, and then I was in a rehab for several months as well. I came back home, did not have access to a computer, wasn't really able to do many videos myself. I needed help putting the videos together. My sister would help me, and really, it was really tough for me. But in the summer it was really tough for me. But after Christmas of 2018, I came back to YouTube in 2019 when I got a special computer that could control my eyes. I was able to come back on my computer, and I was back on there for a while until December of 2019. My first YouTube channel was shut down, and I was suspended, and then my channel was completely removed. So I had to create a new channel in 2019. And I came back and started making new content. And then I started doing YouTube series. Flyers pregame report. That's when I first started doing pregame reports for the Philadelphia Flyers. And in 2019, things were going pretty well. Ended up in the hospital again I'm not gonna really get into what happened. I ended up in there for about a couple of weeks. Came home in October. Came home almost by November. I was at home I was home before Halloween, I think. So I was home at the hospital. So I started making my pregame reports. So I was not able to do pregame reports for a few days. Had to do a few on Facebook, and well, it got pretty tough for me. But then I ended up back in the hospital again around December. Luckily, I got out before Christmas. Thank God for that. Then I started having these horrible pains in my leg until about maybe April, and then I was fine in April after that, and then went away. So, and then all of a sudden, the pandemic hit, and I did not know what I was going to do. I needed to really come up with some ideas. So I decided to do a podcast episode. My first ever episode was an episode about my dad. And my podcast really started to hit off. Had some great guests on there as well. And we're gonna take a special look at my first ever podcast episode. And we're gonna take a look at some of the guests I had on my podcast. So stay tuned. I remember we went to a lot of Flyers games there. The best memory with him was when we went to see the Phantoms during the lockout season. The Phantoms played at the Wells Fargo Center, which was the heaviest center at the time, for the playoff games. I remember in the first round, they played the Odd Ones. In the second round, they played the Scranton Penguins. In the third round, they played the Providence Bruins. And in the Calder Cup Finals, they played the Chicago Wolves, and they swept the Chicago Wolves 4-0. I remember that date when me and my dad went to Game 4 of the 2005 Calder Cup Finals. Philadelphia Phantoms beat the Chicago Wolves to win their second. The Phantoms won their second Calder Cup since 1998. And that was one of the greatest memories I have of my dad. Another great memory was the Philadelphia Flyers 2010 playoff run. I remember one day, it was Game 7, Flyers Bruins. The Flyers managed to tie the series up 3-3. The day of the game, I ended up in the hospital because my potassium was very high. Me and my dad were in the hospital. We were watching the game. The Philadelphia Flyers. They won the game. I was so excited. My heart rate went up. And the Flyers eliminated the Bruins. And they made it to the Eastern Conference Finals against the Montreal Canadiens. I remember this ring very clearly. Flyers managed to make it to the Stanley Cup Finals against the Blackhawks. The Philadelphia Flyers sadly history. I'm sorry, what did he say? I'm sorry.
Oh, you're fine, dear. Thank goodness, like the recent, because you're kind of feeling under the weather, like recently. I'm just happy that that didn't progress to you having to go to the hospital or like have it any more serious than what it was. So I'm glad that you were able to get better.
Especially with the family going around.
Right. Like, is it even safe to go to the hospital if you're feeling sick? Because they might.
Suggest that I take medication if I get sick.
Staring at me. Yeah, I think maybe like 2 or 3 weeks ago, I was going through my phone just because I have so many videos, and I came across the one that your sister sent me when you were in school at that time, and I sent it back to her. And I was like, I don't know, I don't know. I just sent it back to her, and I was like remembering like that moment, like the emotion came back to me. Let me see if I can pull it up on my phone, show the screen if that's like.
Sorry.
Yeah, but I'm glad that you're taking care of yourself and you're healthy. Oh, and the book that you got me for Christmas. Some of the photos. Can I show this to the camera? I don't know if it's going to focus. Did you see that? Super personal, a little bit. They're cute. I like all your You just send cute pictures, and you post really awesome gifs whenever you tweet and everything. You're just so thoughtful. I want, like, more girls need to follow you, and I always say that. You're really a light in.
Yeah, I just saw a guy. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the video game, Sweden.
I don't think I am, actually.
What games do you like to play?
Mostly open world RPGs, so like Legend of Zelda, Skyrim, Assassin's Creed, things like that.
Oh, that sounds good.
It's my favorite types of games, I just love them.
Sorry, I'm just getting a little nervous. This is my,
Oh, don't get your bearings. No pressure.
Alright, well, I want to tell you a little bit about me. I have a disability, muscular dystrophy, and I have a tracheostomy too,
Mm-hmm.
as well. And I grew up, I used to walk, back in the day, and I just lost my ability to walk in, like, when I was, like, 9, I think. But I'm doing pretty good. I don't use my disability to define who I am. You know, I just do my own thing, you know?
You know what? Absolutely. You are stronger than your disability, and I can see it through your fandom that you are your own person. Don't let it define you. And I love that as you as a person. Honestly, you're a very, inspirational person, because you don't let it define who you are as a fan and as a person. And I admire that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. It's probably, it takes a lot of courage to, say stuff like that and, come out and say, you know what, I have this, but here I am. And, you can say anything you want, but I am me and I am strong. And that takes a lot of courage, and it's a very inspirational thing.
I remember back in 2010, when the Flyers, they were real good.
And the Islanders were not.
Yeah, we had Carter, Richards, which...
Yeah.
It's a shame what happened to Richards.
Yeah. Any player, that goes, the way their, careers end like that, and it's awful. I hate to see players, whose careers end earlier than they should.
Yes, and Eric Linkos he was one of them. I remember that when he got a concussion. I'm not a big fan of the Devils or Scott Stevens. How about you?
The Devils. I like the Devils personally. I mean, I know a lot from there. I'm very close to Prudential Center, so I usually go down there a lot. Honestly, with the Eastern divisions, I know we're division rivals, but I don't have any true bad blood against any teams but the Rangers. That's the only team I don't like.
Yeah. Yeah, I used to hate Sean Avery.
Oh, same. Especially since I'm a big Marty Brodeur fan. So, yeah, really hate Sean Avery.
Yeah, but, I remember him and Hartnell went at it one time, and Hartnell knocked him out. And I was surprised because, Hartnell, he's kind of tough, but, yeah, he's alright.
Back in that era, long ago, in God, in like 2010, I was like 10 years old. That era of game of hockey, and God, the Islanders were so bad. I was so used to last place and things like that. So like seeing some kind of success now later in my life it's been makes me very happy to see, this team finally, I guess, blossoming, getting rid of horrible GMs and problems that we've had to fix for years and years and years, and getting out of that gutter. So it's nice to be like an actual franchise again.
Yeah, I know what that's like, because 06 or 07, that was the worst year for the Flyers. They could not buy one.
With the Flyers, do you have season tickets?
Not this year. I did a while back. But it's kind of hard for me to really go to that many games. Because I got nurses coming at like 10 o'clock at night. And you know how it is.
Yeah. Do you know I actually went to a Philly game 2 years ago?
Oh, really?
Yeah. The New York Islanders Booster Club, we did a trip down to Philly, and I got to experience your arena, and honestly, it was a really great atmosphere. I really enjoyed it, and I got to see Gritty.
Oh, that's cool.
I enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun at that game. I think the Islanders, we won that game, and I was shocked.
I think we were winning, and you guys came back.
Yeah, I think that was what it was, yeah. But it was a really intense game, I remember that. It was just, I don't know, I really enjoyed the atmosphere of your arena. We were up high, but it was still an enjoyable game, even from the nosebleeds, I'll tell you that.
I just have a question. Do you know when the,
one of those 22. So that's why mission really is a big thing to me. I pulled myself out of it. I didn't go to counseling. I didn't get medicated. I managed to pull out of it. And that was, what I was able to do, thank God. But, and I think Christina I was out of it by the time we met Christina. I was well out of that stage. But myself and Giggles, we've been married for 24 years. I was ready to throw Giggles and my whole family away because of depression, and the retirement is a considerable change when you go from being an active duty military, or in my case I was an active duty sailor. From that to that, it really changes you, and it changes how you are as a person.
When I got
sick, I felt alone, really. So, but I pulled myself out of that. I started my business, and I've been moving forward since. So, but yes, I could see meeting Lane being better than the stand. Sorry.
Yeah. Mom! I'm doing a podcast. I don't know.
Okay, now?
Yeah, I've been doing one. That's my mom, but one of the nurse,
That's all right.
So I know that you went through a lot of depression. I went through that too. Even though I wasn't reading or anything, but when I was in a facility, I was depressed. I felt alone. I felt like, I had my mom, but she was only able to come see me for a certain period of time in the facility. And I felt like I was lost. I felt like I lost my way. And when I met Elena, that all changed, and I feel like that me and her have such a great connection. You're trying to save me. You know? Save me.
That's awesome. She has that effect on people, definitely. She has that effect to definitely help you.
I mean, she is
it's because it's because of her heart, really is. She has the heart that just, she loves and cares.
So she's inspiring to me because honestly, she's the reason I started doing podcasting. Because I've seen her do a lot of podcasts. I've seen her get interviewed. And she inspired me. That's what inspired me to do the Timmy Flyersguy podcast. And I would love to have her on my podcast. But, unfortunately, her Facebook got taken down.
Oh. Yeah, let's not get started on the whole Facebook thing. Like I said, the page I started to help expose the fake Elenas, it's been doing really good, and I really do. I target specifically that one fashion, the one that's the fashion model, who has the massive followers, which we're, myself and Josh are probably about 99% sure that that's the one that has been getting her pages taken down. But until we actually get, I can't get anything done unless I actually physically talk to Facebook, I think. And I don't know how to go about that yet. I'm pretty upset with Facebook on a bunch of stuff. Just some of the things that they allow and some of the ideas that they were pushing, and like, kind of, not to be the conspiracy person, but I see social medias have been being used a lot to twist things that shouldn't have been twisted, and it's not used the way it should be. I mean, if social media is used the right way, it's to socialize with your friends that you can't get to every day, which, like this.
Yeah,
you have interviewed me in Washington State.
Yeah. The first time I noticed her Facebook was gone is when I searched her name, and it said, "We're sorry, this page has temporarily been removed." And I'm like, seriously?
Yeah. Too, is that the page, it's weird. So they don't have me blocked. I can see them, but I can't comment. That's really a weird thing, because usually you would just block her and see the page all. No, they have it. They sit there where you do that. I've got an idea that somebody from Twitter, because obviously they see Twitter and they take the pictures. They know that the page transparency shows them from Peru. But we're getting off on a tangent. Sorry. So, go ahead and ask away any other questions there, Timmy. I think, Christina also coming into our lives has been a pretty incredible thing. But let's find out some other stuff. How about you, Timmy? I mean, so tell more about yourself.
Well, I grew up in the city of Philadelphia. I was born in Abington Hospital in 1986. I grew up in Northeast Philly, the warehouse section of Northeast Philly. I was raised by my parents, Dom and Chris.
Dad and everyone is with you every day, Tim.
Yep. My best memory of my dad was when me and him, during the lockout in 2004, me and him went to a lot of Phantom games. And I remember me and him went to the game where they won the championship in 2004 in the playoffs. That was a great game.
Yeah, that's a great memory to have, Tim. That's so nice.
Yeah.
We have a memory with your dad. We were babysitting. Mason and Sydney, and it was the both of us, and we were making popcorn for the kids. And all of a sudden, we started burning it, and we're panicking because burnt popcorn stinks up like the whole house or room. So it starts like we're freaking out, we're opening the windows, and your dad walks in because he was helping Matt on a job. And he was like, I'm burning popcorn and panicking. But he was like, don't worry, like I'll keep your secret. Yeah. So we always laugh about how he caught us almost starting a fire. Sorry, Matt and Kelly, if you're listening. Yeah. That's fun.
So I'm thinking about buying one of the Flyers have a new reverse retro jersey.
Oh, okay. That would be nice.
I'm thinking about maybe getting it after Christmas, probably.
That's nice. That's really nice. Once all this COVID stuff's over, we're all gonna have to watch like a Flyers game together.
I know.
Yeah.
I remember that one game we watched together. It was a Flyers.
Yeah, remember when the Flyers score, you and your mom sing the song, the knock knock.
Yeah. So
Had a good time.
Yeah. Did you see my podcast with Lou Nolan?
The what? The podcast? With who was it with?
Lou Nolan, the Pico power play guy.
No, that's so cool.
Yep, so I interviewed him. It was my first
Wow.
interview. I was nervous.
Oh, I'm sure you did so good.
Yeah.
What questions did you ask him?
About the Broad Street Bullies and Peter Forsberg and Eric Lindros.
That's so cool. It's very cool. Yeah, that's like an accomplishment.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Well, who else do you want to interview? Who's like your top goal person?
I was thinking about interview. I would say you two are one of my top goals of podcasting with.
You're so sweet. That's a good answer, Tim. Well, we're so honored. This is our first podcast. I've never been interviewed on a podcast. Yeah, we are very lucky to be a part of it.
So, I just want to thank you two for joining me on my podcast, and I want to thank everyone for listening to my podcast. This episode will go up on Wednesday on YouTube. My YouTube is Timmy Flyersguy. Like, subscribe, and comment on all my videos. And this one, of course. So I just want to thank Caitlin and Christina for joining me. I hope you two have a wonderful night. I love you both so much.
Oh, we love you, Timmy. Thank you so much.
Wow. Those were some awesome guests. Now, I've had a lot of guests. But if I put them all on here, I have a lot of guests on this show. But I just want to thank everyone for being on my podcast through the years. It really means a lot, and what a journey it's been. And I am truly grateful that I had to have these awesome guests on here. Now, I couldn't put each and every video in here, but I just want to say each and every video in here because I have so many videos with so many wonderful guests, and I don't want to forget anybody, so I just want to thank all my guests for being on my podcast and making the podcast a great success. I'm not here to take all the credit for it because if it wasn't for you guys, the podcast wouldn't be a success. So I thank you all for that, for helping me out and being there for me. Truly means a lot to me. Truly means a lot. I started doing this podcast back during during the pandemic, the first part of the pandemic, which was in 2020. Without hockey in my life, I was bored, didn't have anything to do, so I decided to start a podcast. And when I started the podcast, I was so excited to start a podcast. And I was so happy that I could come on here and express myself to each and every one of you. It really meant so much to me. And without you guys, this 100th episode would not be possible. All my friends in the Flyers Nation, without them, this wouldn't be possible. With everyone in my life that I love and care about, this wouldn't be possible. So I want to thank all of you for supporting my channel, for all the love and support. I just want to thank you for that. But before I go, here on this 100th episode, let's take a look back at some of my favorite Philadelphia Flyers moments. One moment in particular was the 2010 playoff run with the Philadelphia Flyers. This was a great year for me, and great year for each and every Flyers fan just like me, and each and every single Flyers fan as well. And 2010 was my all-time favorite year, all-time favorite playoff run. And I remember during this playoff run, people would come up to me and say, "Hey Tim, how about them Flyers?" And just, I like thinking about that time, because at that time, I was truly in a good place in my life in 2010. And considering all the crap I had to put up with growing up with a disability, and then ending up in the hospital in 2017, I think back at that year as a good year in my life. But there are many other good years as well. Like the year that I met the lovely Elena Koshka, which was 2016 on Twitter, and then we met in person in 2018. That was one of my favorite years as well. And I've had a lot of great moments in my life. So without further ado, I'm going to share some of my favorite Flyers memories, some of my favorite moments in my life. So everyone, please check this out.
All right, we're live.
I just do whatever she tells me. Take the second line.
Tim, we're live.
We're live!
What do you want to say?
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everybody!
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
New Year!
Happy Kwanzaa.
Merry Christmas, Hansa Klonica.
Say Merry Christmas, Mike.
Merry Christmas.
Bye. Merry Christmas.
Let's go Flyers!
Are Hanukkah and Christmas in the same?
Bork pops it back in, 1:28 left, and Hextall able to clear it out. Boy, he could score a goal sometimes in a situation like this. Hextall is so strong in clearing. Traps it, here he goes, bidding for one. Here's the clear, here it is, he scores! Hextall scored a goal on the empty net, and you can see that he is is so strong at it.
That is a legitimate one. Bob Fro's got one the other day for New York Rangers, never touched it. But this is the first time in my 40 years being around this game that I've actually seen a goaltender do that.
Here he takes over. And he fires in the empty net.
Shoots it all the way. Nobody in the middle. It's sliding down off the post a little bit. Just slipped it in.
Officially, one goaltender is credited with scoring one, but not like this.
This is the first
no one has done it this way, shooting it.
But I've seen it that clean.
So it is 5-2 for Philadelphia, and that doesn't tell you the story of the game.
Eric Lindros thought he had a goal. They won the draw. Now watch the wraparound. Watch Richter stick acrobatically with his goal stick along the goal line, and Lindros thought he had one with his arms up. It just gets over the line right above Richter's glove, right there. Went off the Ranger player's stick.
They're sure taking some time. You would think they have looked at all possible angles. It's a goal. Yes, it is. Has to hit his man in the corner. Zubas. Bankhouse shot. Deflected in front of Richter and wide of the net. The Rangers can't get it out. Here's a chance. Lindros scores. Lindros blasts a high shot to the glove side of Richter. And the Philadelphia Flyers are ahead again. 3-2. What a wicked shot by Lindros.
Unstoppable. The Rangers looked like they were going to get out of their own end without any trouble coming up the right wing, but turned the puck over.
A 2-1 lead in the series. If they can hang on. They're going to clear this one out. Bouncing it down the ice. Messier has to hurry. Lindros got in front of him. And for sure, that will
Merry Christmas. Love you, Timmy.
what we needed to do. We wanted to finish them tonight, and that's what we did.
Second consecutive game to close out the Flyers, who suddenly have more than new life.
Make your plans for Friday. There will be a Game 7 in Denver. This improbable, incredible comeback is complete. History made in Boston tonight. The Flyers defeat the Bruins 4-3. They are the third team in NHL history to come from behind after trailing a series 3-0. Celebrate, Philadelphia.
Well, I gotta say, those were some great Flyers moments and some great moments in my life. I have so many great moments in my life, and a lot of them are very hard to track down. And as for the Flyers moments, I had to pick at least 3 of them, because if I picked all of them, Heck, we would be here for 3 days. Cause there's so many great moments in my life and so many great moments in Flyers hockey as well. But those are a few of my favorites. I became a Philadelphia Flyers fan back in 1986. When I was a little kid. Didn't really know much about hockey when I was a baby, but once I got a little older, maybe 5 years old, I really started to get into it. I really started to appreciate the sport and how hard the players work on that ice. And I really enjoyed hockey as a kid, and I grew up with Flyers hockey. You know, whenever it was 7 o'clock, that TV was on, and that game was on. No matter what channel was on, Prism, Sports Channel, whatever, that TV would be on, and the Flyers would be on at all times. And I remember growing up watching the games with my dad on TV and going to the games with my dad. Reason I do these videos is to honor his memory, and that's why I'm doing this 100th episode of Classic Flyers Theater. And, well, hockey is a big part of my life. I mean, it's been there my whole life, you know? It all started when Flyers games were on Prism and PHL 17. I'd watch the games every night with my dad. And they were some good games, you know? I really enjoyed watching Flyers hockey. And those were the good old days. That's when Flyers hockey was Flyers hockey. It wasn't the Flyers hockey of today, which is a bunch of BS. If you ask me, I'm just saying, it's a bunch of BS now. I mean, this is when the Flyers were a good team, you know? I mean, they had a couple of years back in the day where they were not making the playoffs, but they still busted their asses every night. But now, the Flyers hockey is completely different now. It's like completely different. It's like kind of what they did with YouTube. It's kind of like what they did with YouTube in like 2012 when they changed YouTube and made it all complicated. Although, I don't have a problem with that, but I'm used to it now. I'm used to it now, but that's what Flyers hockey's like. Flyers hockey is like a website that you go to. You're used to using it, everything's all there, and then they change it. So, Flyers hockey was the best back in the day. Now it's a bunch of BS. And that's how I feel. But it's great to be on here talking on here and doing this 100th episode. And I'm glad that you guys stuck around to see my 100th episode. And I hope everyone has a wonderful day. Thank you for joining me on my 100th episode. Before I go, I'd like to thank each and every one of you. You know, I don't like to do long speeches, and I don't like to list people in my, when I'm thanking them, because if you forget about somebody, then you're gonna hear about it, and so I'm just going to thank each and every one of you that supported me on my YouTube journey, that supported me on my 100th episode. Took me a while to get here, but I got here, and boy does it feel great to have my 100th episode of Classic Flyers Theater. I just want to thank you all for joining me, and I hope everyone's doing well. Can't wait for when I get to 200 episodes. What will I have in store for you next time for my 200th episode? Well, you're just gonna have to find out here on Classic Flyers Theater. Thank you for joining me, everyone. And thank you for celebrating my 100th episode with me.